I think the hardest part for me building this business from nothing is to actually believe in myself. I had to risk everything. I had to say, okay, my resources, my finances, where is it going to come from? And I just realized at that moment that I have to trust God on another level. That's it. There was no plan B. There was nothing else. Talking about my story, the background, how things got started. I can do that. This is harder than I thought. Windhoek, in my opinion, is such a beautiful place. We have a combination of history, of modern civilization. We have we've got different culture groups, and in Windhoek itself, you will find so many people that are willing to help you grow, help you shape your future. They are not limited by the circumstances, and that has truly shaped who I am today. It has shaped my mindset, it has shaped my perspective of life, of just culture. And I can honestly say that if I didn't grow up there, I would not have become the man I am today. In my day-to-day ministry, I have found myself helping people to walk a road with them, to disciple them. And it's any age group. It was from teenagers to adults. And it really I realized one thing, it's about people. It's not about necessarily the day-to-day task I had to do as a pastor on the administrative side, but it's more about how can I help people in their current situation. I went and I visited many people at the workplaces, at teenagers at their schools, to really understand what are they experiencing, where do they find themselves, so I can come alongside them. That was what I honestly just wanted to do every day, is to really see how can I help them to establish, to grow spiritually, physically, to become the best version that God has called them to be. The lessons I've learned in my ministry, and for 10 years, I think there's so many, but just to name a few, one of them is serving in excellence. That is one of the biggest lessons, because first of all, I'm not working to please people. I'm not working to give my best to people. First, I'm always working to give my best to God and to serve in a way that will honor Him. So with that principle in my life, I want to do it in everything I do. I'm not striving perfection because it's this place of hustle, but I strive excellence, where excellence is to honor God, to give my best, to be the best version I can be. And that is truly what I want to do, and that's what I've learned, and that's what I'm still implementing today. And it's interesting, it's something that does not easily show itself in the business world that I've encountered. Because when you show up serving in excellence, it stuns people. And it's not a common trait, but yet it has to be part of who we are. If we're kingdom people, if we are believers in Jesus Christ, that is just part of who we are, to serve in excellence, because we're portraying Him. We're portraying who He is. And that's one of the biggest lessons I truly believe, is to serve in excellence. It will honor your client, it will honor the business, and it will honor God. When I was a pastor, there was constantly a desire. I always wanted to help people, and video was part of a gift that God's given me. I worked with video, first helping the church grow, helping people inside the church with any video needs they had. And when I was doing that, I never really intended to go full-time as a business. That was never the intention, but I knew that there was something that I wanted to do as either on the side or one day full-time. as an entrepreneur, and realizing it now that, wow, all those years has actually equipped me to be an entrepreneur that can serve people well and to the highest standard, highest quality. To be honest, I didn't realize that everything I was doing was preparing me for today. The decision to move from Namibia to America, and in this case, I traveled to California because that is just how, so the story of how I ended up in California is actually a miracle. What happened was in 2018, beginning of 2018, I had this unction in my spirit that I have to go. I didn't know where. I first thought it's going to be in Australia or somewhere, not America. It wasn't even on my radar. And I spoke to a friend of mine, and I just remember this friend saying, Jens, what are you going to do about this? If you truly believe this is from God, what are you going to do about this? And that just punched me, and I realized, wow, I cannot just let this go. So I was praying, and I had this opportunity to go to a conference in Toronto, Canada. At this conference, I met a pastor from California, and our hearts just connected. And I realized, wow, this is where I have to go, is to California. So then I went back, I got everything in order, and yeah, my heart was to finish well. I've learned this, the way you end one season is the way you enter the next season. So my heart was, I'm gonna finish the season well at the church, in my ministry, so I can enter the new season. And it was difficult because I had to risk everything. I had to say, okay, my resources, my finances, where is it gonna come from? And I just realized at that moment that I have to trust God on another level. So the transition was easy, but it was not. Because it was easy because I knew where I'm going, I knew what God has called me to do. It was not because I had to fully risk it all and trust God by faith, out of obedience. That's it. There was no plan B, there was nothing else. After doing missions work for a year, in that time I met my now wife, Natila, and that was just a God story, how we met, because we met on Instagram, out of all places. I never realized that you can meet somebody so special, so beautiful on Instagram or a social media platform. I always thought it had to be in person, but my mind got shifted. So we met, and she's in Kentucky, I was in California, so we did the long distance dating. And it taught us so much about communication, to learn to communicate in such a way that the other person can understand, although we're not in person. And doing a long distance for a year, I knew this is my wife. So I moved to Kentucky, and she knew that I've got a one-way ticket, and she expected that I'm gonna propose, but she didn't say anything. So at the airport, I proposed, and her uncle is a pastor, so we reached out. He's like, hey, we told him, we just got engaged. When can you marry us? He's like, what about the next day? So we proposed and got married the next day. And I'm like, God, what do I do now? I'm not the traditional missionary anymore. And he's like, what are you good at? And that I realized, wow, I'm good at video. I'm good at coming alongside people, helping them see the vision, helping them understand what the story is behind the vision. And I realized, okay, I'm gonna start a video production company, a video marketing agency. And that's when Alignment Media was birthed. So we started this business. My wife and I, we were doing it together. And yeah, it was really just stepping out in faith again, on another level, trusting God again, because we both stepped out of what we, like she also resigned from her job, and I moved away from being a missionary. So and we both had to trust God again anew on provision, on working together. And it's been an amazing journey up until today, just to grow together, to learn the different strengths that we have as a couple doing business together. So I'm so thankful. I'm thankful to have started and still working with my wife in this business. Many people don't like to work together as a couple, but we do. We are so thankful, so blessed to be able to help each other, strengthen each other, so that we can be the best version we can be, to bring the biggest impact, and to help the most people we can. This business can solve a specific problem. And that one of the biggest problems is that the business owners, CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, they have the vision, they have a story, but they don't know how to communicate it on camera and using video to really build trust with their clients, with their prospects. What was the hardest part of building this from nothing? That's a good question. Wow. I think the hardest part for me building this business from nothing is to actually believe in myself. To believe that what I can do and what I have is valuable enough that people want to buy it. So that was the hardest thing for me, to build it from nothing. And especially, what really started building that part and helping me break through that was when I had my first sale. I remember making this first video, and we really just went above and beyond, serving them and also at a minimum cost, just to get a foot in the door. But just being able to do that raised my belief level in myself, belief in what we are called to do, the business, to another level. Video builds trust the fastest. Since video communicates the emotion, people can look into your eyes, they can see how you feel, what you think, and people, especially today, they're looking for authenticity. If you're not authentic, people can read straight through it. You know, they can spot a fake from a mile away. And that is something I truly believe that helps with video. I know we've got AI coming in and deep fake and that stuff, but right now, the thing that sells the best is genuine, authentic video of somebody sharing his heart, his vision, his story, because that is what people are longing for today. Yes, we get the short form content, it has its place, but real, authentic stories is what still resonates with people on a deeper level. And that's why I believe video is such a powerful tool, such a powerful asset. You can record it once, your concept, once your story, and it can be used over and over and build trust, break down walls that people have to be able to jump on a call with you, to book a call with you, to buy your product or your service. So if we're not using video, we are missing out on building a community and reaching people that we would never be able to reach in person. We have to constantly help each other see that with video. When we look at video, we think it has to be a certain way for it to be able to work, to be able to make money, to have sales. But every video has its place. You get high quality, high value videos that you have to have on your website, that you have to have specific videos of, because they communicate value, they communicate importance. Not every video has to be like that. That is why not every video has to be perfect. You get videos that are shot on the cell phone or shot on a smaller camera, because video, if it captures the story, it will work. It's not always about the production or having everything perfect. Even your words don't need to be perfect, because video is not about perfection. It's about being raw, authentic, that is what will speak to the people. And that's what I truly believe. If we can help business owners achieve that, people will say, wow, he's real. I can relate with that. He's not necessarily polished or he's not necessarily perfect, but he's real. And that is really what connects with every person out there. If you use video correctly, and that's where I come in and I help people do that, a video becomes more than just a link on YouTube or a link in wherever you have it. But video becomes an asset. It works for you. You can run ads with it, and it will be able to give you a return on investment 10 times or 20 times what you've initially invested in this. Video can be used on courses. So it becomes this evergreen product that goes out there and people can buy it, and you've invested the time and money to build it, but now it has this recurring income. I want people to be stunned that we actually captured their vision in a way that portrays it on video, that other people can see but also feel that this is who they are. They feel an emotion of joy, excitement, overwhelm, and a good sense that, wow, is it this beautiful? Is it this valuable? Is it this important? I want this. I want to be part of this. I want to get to know this person. These are all the feelings I truly believe you can capture and show with one video. If you're using video or not using video and you're a founder, it's time to truly bring it to the next level. If you want to take your business to the next level, if you want to take yourself and grow and become the version that you've always wanted to be, video is going to be your source to do that. It's going to be your key to unlock trust and authority so that people will come alongside you and share the vision with you, with your service, with your product, with what you have to offer. When you use video like that, there is no limit to the impact, the influence, and the income that you can have.